Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of February. I hope you're well. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot for you today. Now, if you haven't seen these readings before, we do them slightly differently to the way that we do the main monthly reading, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. I think there is wisdom, or indeed a lesson, contained within every experience and interaction that we have, if we are open to seeing it, and often we are not, because we get bogged down with the day-to-day minutiae of everyday life, you know, and perhaps a year, 2 years, 5 years in the future, we can see the point of where we were when we were in it. But usually when we're right in the thick of it, we don't, and that can make things very, very difficult and make us feel like we're being victimized or challenged or whatever. And so this is an exercise in perspective, in so much as what we will do is pull 3 cards for your current energy, like an energetic snapshot. We will see where you are right now, and then we will pull 3 cards to see why you are there in the first place, right? Sometimes it's teaching you something about yourself. Sometimes it's teaching you to be resilient, you know. Sometimes it's teaching you that there are things that need to be released. Sometimes it's preparing the ground for new things coming on and coming in, and making sure that you're in a place where you can receive those. We won't know until the cards hit the table. But we shall do that, and then we shall get 3 cards of advice. And yes, that's everything. I hope that makes sense. So let's get 3 cards for Sagittarius, please. Where is Sagittarius right now? Thank you. Hello. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of emotional stuff going on with you at the moment, Sagittarius. First card is the Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups in the standard deck. We've got the 4 of Cups there. And then we've got the 7 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles, which is intriguing. We've got the Justice card at the bottom of the deck and the 9 of Cups. And I do get a sense of delayed happiness. I don't really know how to describe it, right? This Justice card here is things that must be done, right? It's things needing to be done right, but it's very monochrome, and it's sitting in front of this 9 of Cups here, which is your personal happiness, right? And it's almost like, in a sense, it's kind of I've got to get on with something right here in front of me before I can get to that. It's interesting, because delayed gratification is not something that you associate particularly with Sagittarius as a sign, but you know, certainly the Sagittarians that I've been reading before have been, you know, going through these incredible spiritual awakenings and really spiritually maturing a lot. They're really coming into their own, I think, is probably a good way of putting it. So we've got all of this emotional stuff down here. And I think some of you are starting to see yourselves properly for the first time too. That's an interesting thing. We've got this Page of Cups here, and it's kind of like an ugly duckling, right? But it's looking in its reflection, and it's the sense of kind of growing into who you are supposed to be. You know, seeing that what you thought you were is not actually it's not actually who you are. And just like in that tale of the ugly duckling, right? The duckling kind of wanders around thinking that it's ugly and it's awful, and actually it's a swan. It doesn't look like the other ducklings because it's not fucking duckling, right? It's this sense that you are different, and you have always known that you were different, and where this might have caused you pain in the past and certainly had you feeling like, you know, rejected at times, now you're starting to get a sense of the purpose of that, right? And that it's okay to be different. It's actually probably pretty good not to be the same as everybody else, but it's taken a long time to get to a place where you can own that fully and feel it in here, because it's a very strong emotional thing going on with you right now. I know that's the Daughter of Cups. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Swords, and we've got the Devil in reverse. The Ace of Swords is a new way of seeing the world, right? It's the truth, certainly, but because it's an ace, it's the seed, it's the potential, right? And because it's the sword suit, we're talking about thinking, we're talking about, you know, the way that you see the world, the way that you process information has changed in light of some stuff recently. And maybe for some of you, this is your spiritual awakening that happened around December, January time for a lot of you. For others of you, it's just things all starting to drop into place for you. And where you felt trapped and restricted by being you in the past, even though, you know, the very watchword of the Sagittarian is liberation and freedom, it's an understanding that perhaps it's the way that you saw yourself that was the biggest impediment to being yourself and being comfortable with yourself that you have had to deal with. The High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck here, and I don't feel like that's an accident, because it's a highly spiritual card, right? It's numbered 2, and it's very much about the internal space. It's an internal search for meaning, I think, except the High Priestess has it, right? She's not looking for it, she has it. And I think that you are now starting to see that you are, I think, much more special than you thought you were. Got the Temperance card sitting behind the High Priestess there, and that's a Sagittarian card. There's alchemical processes going on in your subconscious, Sagittarius, and it's making you feel very balanced. It's making you feel very what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm trying to put a feeling to the sensation that I've got. the word that I keep hearing, or the phrase that I keep hearing, is grown up, but it's not. That it seems ridiculously reductive for what it is. It's almost like a stoicism, Sagittarius. And this is interesting for you because I think up until relatively recently, stoicism would be something that you would run a mile from, because you would equate it with boring. It's like, nothing's happening, I'm bored. But it's not that. There's almost a relishing of this stoic demeanor that you have at the moment, where it's like, yeah, stuff's happening, you know. Yeah, things are going on. Yeah, I can't have exactly what I want right now, but that's okay. You know, it is a very grown-up kind of, very patient energy that you've got going on. But this, with these 2 cards together, there's also a deep understanding of the fact that the divine timing is at play for you. And you're quite willing to just sort of potter on and do what you're doing while you're waiting for everything to sort itself out. It's extraordinary. So we've got the 7 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles here, and it's kind of just really adding to this narrative that's building here of, you know, that which is confusing to you, just kind of sitting with it patiently and unpicking it and working it out. Again, like I said, not characteristics that one would normally associate with a Sagittarius, and nonetheless they are happening anyway. Tell me about the 7 of Cups and this 2 of Pentacles. Got the 4 of Cups coming out again with the Ace of Wands here, but the Ace of Wands kind of came out sideways. And we've got the 6 of Swords. We've got the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. It's a card of Leo, but it is also a card of personal growth, and we're definitely in a period of that, Sagittarius. And although at some point, you know, in the not too distant past, you would have felt like you were being rejected, or there was something that was triggering a feeling of rejection within you. So you're not getting what you want when you want it. That being like, fuck, why can't I have that thing, right? It kind of becoming a little bit more passive and going, right, I understand that I can't have what I want right now, and it's not a rejection of me. That's absolutely fine. I can't have the new start that I want quite yet because it's not time, it's not ready. You know, that would be go time. That would be like, Sag is off already, right? That would be like, no, it's not happening. You know, what you were planning for, what you were hoping for, what you were working towards, not taking off. This is like, it's not ready yet. It's not time yet. And we've got the 6 of Swords, which is interesting because this is about moving away from something. This is about leaving it behind, going from troubled waters into calmer waters, right? It's a good card. But in some ways, it's kind of running away from the situation. What we've got here is you sticking with something, even though it isn't giving you what you want at the moment. So it's quite interesting. So let's have a look and see why you are in this energy in the first place. Tell me why Sagittarius is here, please. So there's the Temperance card at the bottom of the deck. Look at this one that I've dropped down here. I have it. So we have the Five of Wands in reverse, we have the Four of Wands, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is astonishing. Right? You are in this energy because you have learned that sometimes to get what you want, you have to stand still, right? It takes time to build things up. This is a card of conflict. This way around, it's a card of conflict, it's a card of strife. Sometimes it can be a card of competition and drama and things like that, right? It's about the action. It's inherently unstable, so there's always something moving here with this. But this is stabilizing that. That is coming out of a sense of conflict. And so, you know, previously, perhaps the conflict would have come from the fact that there was nothing fucking happening and this was very fucking frustrating. You seem to have made your peace with it because you're building something better for yourself. Four of Wands here, but also the Eight of Pentacles. This is patient and methodical work here to create a new foundation for you that you will know will lead eventually to that Nine of Cups, to your own personal happiness. But in the meantime, you are quite happy to bide your time. And it's been an important skill for you to learn, Sagittarius, because whatever you've been going through, whatever you're experiencing at the moment, it is requiring you to push your desire for whatever back a little bit and go, no, I need to do the groundwork first. Like I said, not something usually associated with Sagittarius, but look where you are. Look how you have grown, right? Dramatically grown. Look at how different the way is you see the world. Look at how you're planning for the future here with the Star card. It's like it doesn't matter that it's not happening now, because it will happen at some point in the future, and the more work that you can put into it now, the more likely you are to get the very thing that you're actually trying to manifest for yourself, or that you know is coming. I guess that's probably the better way to put it. Stoic as fuck. All right, let's get you some cards of advice, Sagittarius. 3 cards of advice for Sagittarius. We have got the Two of Wands and the World card. That's interesting. Some cards for thank you. We've got the Ten of Pentacles here. And we have the Five of Swords. We've got the Lovers card at the bottom of the deck, so maybe manifestation is a decent word to use in this situation. But I think that we've got the Lovers card and the Hermit. You know, there's something kind of a bit more anchored about your energy. You know, you're not entirely in retreat. We can see the face of the turtle. It's a tortoise. Clearly, it's a tortoise. You can see the face of the tortoise there. But it isn't time yet, right? So you're still there. You're still knocking around, but you're not, you know, exploding rooms with your Sagittarian energy right now. It's about quiet and diligent working on your future, on your manifestation, whatever it is that you are wanting to come into alignment with. The interesting thing is, though, this Two of Wands here and the World card, there's a sense that some of this is out of your hands, and there's a knowledge that that's the case, right? So the minor arcana is all about the day-to-day way that we respond to situations, right? And the major arcana is quite often the major energies that we are responding to. They're huge, universal kind of archetypal energies that come and hit at us. And there is something ending here. There is the end of an era that is being indicated by the World card. But there's also a sense that no matter what you want at the moment, no matter which way you decide that you're going to go, actually you are facing down some of the energies of the universe at the moment. And it is incumbent upon you to remember that, to remain patient with that, and just know that you are being guided. That Temperance card, particularly, I'm thinking about you being guided down a particular road, and at this point, it just behooves you to just keep walking, because what you want, what it is that you're actually aiming for, and I'm looking at this Ten of Pentacles, but I'm also looking at the fact that the Four of Wands is sitting above it directly like that. It takes time and it takes effort to accrue 10 Pentacles. You've got to have the foundation right before you can get to this, and you know that. So keep that in mind and be aware that there are pitfalls here. Now, there is a possibility of returning to default thought patterns unless you keep on top of them, right? Stoicism isn't something that, fuck. No, actually, we'll keep that one. Yes. People outside, yeah. If you are not careful and you do not keep an eye on it, there is a possibility for you to drop back into default patterns. And I say this because we've got that Five of Swords, right? So overthinking, but getting stuck in cognitive loops with it, right? Where you become completely convinced that your way is the only way and not see it from other people's perspectives, right? Where it's borne out by the fact we've got that again, and we've got the Five of Wands, and we've got the Three of Swords, right? You will break your own heart if you try and force a situation in any particular way, right? It is better to keep in mind that you are on the beginning stages of a path that is taking you, you do not know where. And let's just see how it plays out before you start trying to force your will on situations, right? Because that's kind of falling back into an old pattern. So it's just something to be aware of. It's not the end of the world. It's not terrible. But we've got this Knight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. It's like, keep the lines of communication open with the people that are important to you. And if you feel like you are starting to get yourself stuck in your head again, talk it out, right? Talk it out. This is the thing for you. Ooh, what an interesting reading, Sagittarius. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this was helpful to you. That's the only intent I ever set. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.